Warning, Money's Crazy Mind contains language that may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised, but will be completely ignored.
Oh, it's Friday night. It's 8 p.m. We are just one night away from the start of the 2023 Road to WrestleMania. Welcome into the Asylum, everybody. We got a packed house here in the house tonight. I am not in Spook Central. First time in over a month, maybe even longer than that, now that I think about it. But I am here in the Detroit Auto Parts studio, numero uno. And like I said, we got a packed house here this week. First up, joining me from Mega Championship Wrestling, the good Pastor CeeLo.
Yes, the good one, the good Pastor, Pastor CeeLo, yes.
And giving him a look that only a mother could love, we've got Mr. Peter Popoff himself. You know him Thursday nights here on Redline Radio, 7 to 8 p.m. Mr. Peter Popoff himself, Lexx Vegas.
It's me, man. I'm regretting this whole shit because they didn't send me next to this weird motherfucker. Right off the top, man. Holy shit, man.
I'm here to bring you the light, the spirit. I'm about to bring you something good. Yes.
I'm about to bring you an ass whooping if you don't quit that shit. Man.
Oh, we just got started.
All right. And across from everybody, away from the madness, we've got the owner of Redline Radio and one of the hosts of the Steel City Renegades and the new show Unscripted, Dynomite Dave Wallachek. What's going on?
What's up, Lee? Thanks for letting me join the Asylum here. We do got to cast the characters, especially the one over there with the title.
Yep. But also joining us from 4th and 15 and the 216 Sports Network. He couldn't be in studio. He couldn't find a babysitter, apparently. But we got Mel from 4th and 15, which will be returning here very, very soon to Redline Radio. What's going on, Mel?
What's going on, fellas? Glad to be here. Talk some wrestling. Let's get it popping.
All right.
Somebody couldn't find a babysitter. This kid is 15.
Bro, I wish my kids was 15. You got it lucky, man. Your kid's self-sufficient.
You damn right.
All right. So the Royal Rumble starts the road to WrestleMania. Regardless of what anybody thinks about what's going on in WWE right now, WrestleMania has been and more than likely always will be the mecca event for professional wrestling.
Yes.
Now,
you really gonna do that shit the whole show, man?
Man, leave the good pastor alone, man. Like, always people.
Man, that shit's weird as hell. All right, I'm prepared, man. I'm ready.
I smell a match on the horizon between the retired Lexx Vegas and the Pastor CeeLo.
You see, he's already retired. See, he was retired before I came because he knew what was going to happen when I came to. See, this man here, I feel like he saw the future. He saw the good one coming. He saw the good one coming up through Mega Championship Wrestling, and he was like, you know what? Let me retire now.
ain't no way I'm coming out of retirement to wrestle some diabetes pastor over here. Nobody do that, man. This dude is 30 pounds soaking wet, man. We ain't about to go there with this dude.
Now, fellas, let's be nice. Let's be civil about this, fellas.
179 of holy water, actually. Thank you very much.
Sounds like there's going to be a rumble breaking out here in the studio.
Let's be civil, fellas. Let's be civil.
All right. So the Royal Rumble is professional wrestling pay-per-view from WWE, which we all know. It's been produced annually since 1988 by WWE. It's named after the Royal Rumble match, a modified battle royal in which the participants enter at timed intervals instead of being in the ring at the same time. The event is always held in late January. After the initial 88 event, it was broadcast as a television special on USA Network and has been on pay-per-view since 89. And it also became available to live stream on WWE Network in 2015 and then on Peacock in 2022 when Peacock bought the US rights to the WWE Network.
Which was the worst move ever.
Why is it the worst move ever?
Because you lose certain things. Like, Peacock is very strict about what they do. So a lot of the old content that's on there is not on there anymore.
Either that or
like
it's been insanely edited.
Edited, yes. Like the Booker T, the infamous Booker T promo, edited, or in some cases completely removed. Let's start there. Like the Hulk Hogan, we coming for you. It's not even there no more.
Well, not only that, but there was also the time when DX parodied the Nation when they all
that's gone too.
Yeah, when they all did blackface. You cannot find that anymore unless you own the old DX home video, and I'm talking about the VHS version because even the DVD has been edited as well. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but it was one of those, I want to say, infamous promos from WWE history. I mean, you had DX feuding with the Nation of Domination, and you have all the members of DX coming out in some pretty offensive shit, and because of
word,
right.
I think the funniest thing about DX coming out and imitating the Nation is when they came out as Owen Hart. That was
chasing sensation.
When he said, "I am not a nugget. I'm a 4-time Slammy Award winner."
All right. So that's kind of a little bit about the history of the Royal Rumble. Now, the Royal Rumble has not always been the lead up to WrestleMania. It's never really been on the road to WrestleMania, except at least in like the last 15, 20 years, I think is when that phrase started, the road to WrestleMania. So now this is the event that starts the road to WrestleMania. There's normally another event in between it. Over the years, that event has changed what it was. It used to be No Way Out. Then it became the Elimination Chamber. Now it's kind of just whatever the hell pay-per-view they decide to throw in there in February. And then sometimes there'll be a pay-per-view in March. Sometimes there won't be a pay-per-view in March. It also depends on when Mania is. If Mania is March 31st, then they won't do one. But this year, it's April 1st and 2nd, coming from Hollywood, first time since 2001, actually. So let's just go around the panel here. We'll start with Mr. Lex Vegas, Mr. AKA himself. Lex, looking back at every Royal Rumble that there has ever been, what is one of your all-time favorite Mania or Rumble moments?
You'd be surprised when I tell you this.
All right.
My all-time favorite Rumble moment was the very first Women's Rumble.
Okay.
That entire moment, that I literally rewatched it the other day and just first off, just watching the, like, if you literally pay attention, you'll see that every woman when they got in the ring, they took a moment to soak it all in.
Yeah.
Like literally every single woman that got in the ring, once they got in the ring, you can see them looking around and they're just kind of like, shit, this is really happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all get excited about surprise entrance and everything. The Women's Rumble, the very first one was half surprise entrance. Yeah. So you were like on your feet the entire time, and that literally that entire spectrum is my favorite Rumble moment.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, that first ever women's Royal Rumble, like you said, almost every entrant was a surprise entrant. So, I mean, you had Lita coming back. You had Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus, Melina, the Bellas, you know, anyone that you can think of that was ever a part of even the modern day women's revolution, but even the Attitude Era women's division with Lita, Trish, all them. And then even going further back with that, because they had Alundra Blaze, or Medusa, depending on if you were a WCW or WWE fan. You know, I mean, so they did so many spectacular things in that first ever women's Rumble that made it history making. And we'll get into something that happened on the Raw 30th anniversary special here in a little bit.
I was just about to bring that up, but it's okay.
So Pastor CeeLo,
yes,
give us your favorite Rumble moment.
My favorite moment. What was a good moment in the Rumble? You know what? One of my favorite moments, and this was a new appearance in the Rumble, when AJ Styles made his appearance in the Royal Rumble. I have watched this man from TNA, from New Japan, and for him to pop up in the Royal Rumble, it was an amazing thing to see. I do say so myself. Yes.
If you could see the look you're getting right now, Pastor CeeLo.
Like, do you talk like that when you like have sex and everything? What's really going on right now? Because you do that shit too naturally. Like, you really. Oh my! Nah, don't answer.
He doesn't want an answer.
I do not want an answer.
He does not want an answer.
I do not want an answer.
Does not want an answer. But she does yell G-Man. That's all I have to say.
Oh my. All right. Mel, let's go to you and then we'll go to Dave.
To be honest,
CeeLo, but she yells G-Man. Well, never mind, man. Never mind. He's crying.
Listen.
Wow.
Honestly, I can't remember.
But she calls for the G-Man. You know what the G stands for? It's the God. It's the Omega.
All right.
Yes.
You really had that much time, and that's the comeback you came with. Yeah, bro.
Look, I can't remember if it was 90 or 91 where Ultimate Warrior was the champ and he had a match with Sergeant Slaughter and Macho Man came out, cracked him with the scepter over his head. He lost the belt to.
That was a funny.
No, but that was my favorite moment because it led up to the retirement match at WrestleMania. And you know, the promos kind of didn't make sense, but being with them two, you know, you had to be excited because it's Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior. And then the lead up to that, I said, sew it in, it's a crystal stuck in your skull. And then Macho Man talking about, you know, his Ultimate Warrior's vertebrae understand who the Macho Man is now. So that was just for me, that was my favorite moment because it took a turn for the worse, and the match itself at WrestleMania was what had me tuned in.
Definitely fun moments with the Macho King and everything like that. So I can definitely respect that. Dynomite Dave, go ahead and give me your favorite Rumble moment.
Mine was 2021 when Edge came back and he won his first one back in 9 years. Being an Edge fan, that was kind of cool seeing him come back and how they brought him in. Like they hid him from everybody. They secluded him into a locker room by himself. So that was pretty cool.
All right. Yeah, I can definitely dig everybody's that we've heard so far. For me, it's not one moment in particular, but it's all the crazy ways that people try to not get eliminated in the Rumble match. I mean, you've had, you know, Shawn Michaels doing skin in the cat, just barely grazing the ground. Then Kofi Kingston is like the king of Rumble moments to not get.
I love Kofi, but I think Naomi might
Naomi had a good one too.
When Naomi took a chair like this and she pogoed that shit from across the way and That was like the most creative shit I'd ever seen in my life.
Didn't Shelton Benjamin do that too? He jumped off the railing onto the stairs.
I think
he
that was
jumped off
Kofi.
the railing to the stairs. But I'm saying, Naomi, she landed like in a chair, like a desk chair, and she literally pogoed that shit. She jumped with the chair from one side to the other. That was literally like the most creative shit I'd ever seen in my life.
I don't know, man. The handstand with Kofi was kind of
that was more creative and athletic. But if you're gonna say, I mean, it was more. I'm not gonna say creative. It was more athletic and it was more spontaneous.
What about
But as far as creative, no, absolutely not.
What about Mandy Rose landing on Otis?
That was cool.
That was good too. But I mean,
I wish they would have played that angle out more.
Man, who you kidding? But look what Mandy Rose is doing for a living now. She ain't wrestling. But well, yeah,
she's wrestling to make that money. She just made 1.5 million.
Selling booty pics.
That's all right.
I'm in the wrong.
You can.
I think I'm in the wrong industry.
That's what I was just about to say. That
this dude right here reminds me of Deacon Batista.
Yes.
I'm more of a
Reverend Devon.
more of a Reverend Devon. Yeah,
like Creflo Dollar.
I was thinking Pope D'Angelo De Niro, but I mean,
no. That was actually a good gimmick. That
it was.
That TNA screwed up.
I mean, Elijah Burke was running away from fucking ghosts in WWE, so I mean, he had to do something in TNA to redeem himself. But anyway, so I think one of the best moments in the Rumble is obviously the surprise entrance. I know that Pastor CeeLo talked about, one of his greatest moments was when AJ Styles made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble. Now, one other person made their debut at the Royal Rumble, but was not in the Rumble match because he was told that if he was going to be in the Rumble match that he would have to win it. And they didn't want him to win it. This is our first trivia question of the night.
Can we get a hint?
Like John Cena.
Who was that person that debuted? He ended up having a match against Kurt Angle.
Taz. It was Taz.
Taz?
Yes.
He gonna say it like he answering the fucking question and shit. I was like, it was Taz. Was it Taz? Yes, motherfucker.
I thought you said Tess.
Okay, well, get the Tootsie Roll out your ear. Motherfucker. Jesus.
Now, I find it interesting that AJ Styles was allowed to debut in the Royal Rumble, and he didn't win that year.
He was in the Final Four, though.
He was in the Final Four. But I mean, if that when did that was what 2000 that Taz debuted?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2000. Yeah. 2000, 2001, around that time.
Yeah. So what changed from 2001 to what was that? 2016, 17 that AJ debuted? What changed in that amount of time where somebody can?
It was AJ Styles. That's what.
Well, yeah.
Well, first, I agree with Lex. I do think it was AJ. But I also think it was the roster increase because got to remember back then in 2000, you still had WCW, you still had a little bit of ECW, so the rosters was kind of slim.
True.
Besides that, you didn't know what kind of career AJ would have in WWE. Okay, Taz fit the mold a little more. Yeah. So it would have meant you could tell, okay, you got this guy's like Samoa Joe. Like I could see Samoa Joe coming in, winning the whole fucking thing, like and it's his debut because he fits the mold. AJ Styles is the more technical little guy that Vince doesn't like. So he's not gonna allow that. He's gonna, I'm gonna get this nostalgia, I'm gonna get this pop for you. I'm gonna let everybody know that I got you here, but I'm not putting you at the front of my company, especially, and we all know that Vince doesn't like indie guys. Mm-hmm. We know this. So, you know what I'm saying? ECW was technically a major. Okay, so we knew Taz was coming. He was coming from a major. It's the same thing with Ric Flair. It's the same thing with Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. Or the same thing from Lex Luger. Those guys didn't have to go through developmental. They came from another major. But Seth Rollins had to go through developmental. Those guys, they came from the indies. He doesn't like the indie guys. So, I'm going to get that pop from you, but I'm not making you my star guy until I see what you can do. And that's why he was able to debut like that. Yeah, we got the big pop from the big nostalgia pop. Yeah, we like it. Okay, cool. Now, Final Four, get your ass up out of here.
Mm-hmm. No, right. No, I don't disagree with that. And I was just looking at the year that AJ debuted.
Because when you look back at it,
yeah,
like Lexx said, Vince don't like little guys. The little guys technically don't start winning the World Rumble until 95, 96, and that was Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at it. Shawn ain't 6'5", 300 pounds. Like Triple H, he probably $110. He probably 5'10", $185 on a good day.
Shawn was a different beast though at that time because the company was riding on him at that time, so Vince had to let him win.
But he was still a little guy.
Shawn had,
by all standards, he was still a little guy.
He was. I mean, you're right. Shawn had hella fan appeal. Every wanted to be with Shawn Michaels. Every guy wanted to be Shawn Michaels. So he had a lot of fan appeal, and he was homegrown. Okay, we had no idea who the fuck Shawn Michaels was when he was in AWA. They were the Midnight Rockers. If you were you had no idea who the fuck he was. He was homegrown from the Rockers. Then he was homegrown from. We took him out of this tag team. We bulked him up. That was the thing. Don't forget, they bulked Shawn Michaels up. He was an average sized dude when they were the Rockers. He was an average sized motherfucker when he went solo, especially when he got ready to go on his world title run. They bulked him the hell up. He got bigger.
I still think he's probably one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time.
And
the greatest Intercontinental champion is like the greatest high school basketball player. Okay, it doesn't really mean okay.
Well, that's because the way the WWE
if you can't win the world championship, you ain't shit.
Well, that's because the WWE has made that belt that way. It used to be it was the best wrestler. It wasn't the biggest wrestler who drew the most.
It used to be.
It was the best wrestler.
It was the best wrestler that could not draw. Yes,
I wouldn't say that. I would.
It's the same reason why.
So you're telling me Rick Rude didn't draw?
Hell, why you think he was never world champion?
He was world champion WCW.
No, he was an NWA world champion.
He was the world champion WCW. He had Flair's title.
That's what the big gold belt. That was still an NWA belt when he.
It was at the time that Rick Rude won it. It was still NWA's umbrella.
No, but what I'm saying is, look at all of the world title matches. Rick Rude had the look. I think he had the skill. I used to like watching him wrestle, but he didn't have the it quality that made him the star of the company. Why do you think somebody like Ricky Steamboat, he couldn't win a world championship team with the WCW? He wasn't going to be WWE world champion, WWF world champion.
Well, at the time too, wasn't nobody outshining Hogan, man. Let's just be honest.
That's the point. But you're trying to tell me why couldn't nobody outshine Hogan? You had people that had the look that Hogan had. Why couldn't superstar Billy Graham be what Hulk Hogan was? Because he was supposed to be Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan. He didn't have that it quality. You have to have that it quality, whatever the fuck it is. Rick Rude didn't have it. Why the fuck couldn't Arn Anderson ever become he was one of the greatest wrestlers ever to step in the ring. He was never a world champion. Ted DiBiase, another one. They didn't have the it factor. You have to be, wrestlers are supposed to be like superheroes. This is why kayfabe is dead. Okay, wrestlers are supposed to be like superheroes. So when you look at the Ultimate Warrior, he looks like somebody that can kick somebody's ass. When I look at Daniel Bryan, fuck him. He looks like he can a wet paper bag. Okay, but I'm supposed to believe that this motherfucker, you put this motherfucker in a fucking cage with Henry and fucking Big Show. Not only did he win, that motherfucker survived. Okay, but this is what
So what about Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero?
Those were tests. And how long did they keep the championship? Not long.
Not very long.
Not long.
But to be fair, to be fair in Eddie's case, I really feel like he should have held the belt a little bit longer because at that time, Eddie was showing out. Eddie was showing out night in and night out. He was showing out. So I think they did him a disservice by not letting him hold on to the belt that long.
Eddie had issues.
Yeah, Eddie had
we know this, but goddamn, he was still entertaining.
This is true.
The
wrestlers with the most issues are the most entertaining on screen.
Now, wait,
That
now,
is
hold
true.
on. What does that mean? I'm very entertaining. What are you trying to say? I got problems? I don't feel like I have problems. I feel like I just
That voice
am
is
filled with the
problems.
Well, CeeLo, CeeLo, I wasn't talking about you, but since you told on yourself,
Get it.
Yeah, that's why you're over there and I'm here. Yeah.
hey man, word on the street is CeeLo done started a congregation, but can't nobody find the building. What's up with that, man?
The building has been in the same place since it started. It's down the street around the corner from your baby mama's house. It's not my fault you can't find it.
Wow.
He said he be at your baby mama house.
Directions.
With your 15-year-old kid. You gonna let him talk to you like that, Ron?
I'm gonna have to make a Lexx and
I mean, I can talk to Bob and we can find out where it really is.
Hey, you talk to Bob. You talk to your private investigator. It's not my fault. His GPS is out of whack and he can't find.
He just wants you to
It's been in the
testify.
same place.
He wants you to testify.
He'll never be able to testify. Not with the good one. No.
I don't think I want to. That sounded a little pedophile-ish if you really think about it.
That's what it did, but call it what it is. Go ahead, Lee Money.
all right. So AJ debuted in the 2016 Royal Rumble, and at number three. The prize that year was actually the World Heavyweight Championship.
Mhm.
Who won that Royal Rumble?
Triple H.
What did he enter?
Triple H.
Shit.
He was 17, wasn't he?
28.
No, wasn't he 30?
3. No, because yeah, okay.
Triple H entered at number 30.
Yeah, I thought he was 30.
I do remember that now. Okay.
So that would probably be the reason why AJ did not win the match, is because the match was actually for the strap, and they probably didn't want to put the strap on him his first night in the company. So
Yeah, we see how that worked for Finn Balor.
yeah. All right. So
Damn, why you gotta do it like that?
I'm just saying, we see how that shit worked out. You bring him up to the main roster on his first night, he wins the world championship and gets hurt the same goddamn night.
That's true. That is true.
Not
He did get fucked up. What was it? Busted shoulder?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then buckle bomb.
Because he fucked Sting up the same way, but it was Sting's neck, wasn't it?
Yep.
okay. 5 times the Royal Rumble match has not been the main event of the pay-per-view. What years was the Rumble match not the main event?
Ooh. I don't remember what I did yesterday. We want actual years. Okay.
Have they all been in the 2000s?
2 have been in the 2000s.
I would say
I know.
I would say 2003.
I'm sorry, 6 times.
So that's a big jump.
No.
I know. Wasn't Lesnar Roman won? No, because Lesnar entered the Rumble and won it. I forgot that.
Well, you said 2003?
Okay.
Yes.
So it's got to be 91 because that what year did Warrior and Sergeant Slaughter were the main event of a Royal Rumble, and that couldn't have been 92, so it had to be 91.
Yeah,
No, 91 was the actual Rumble itself was the main event. Sergeant Slaughter and Warrior came on before that because Hogan eliminated Earthquake, if I'm not mistaken.
And that was the Hogan when he beat Yokozuna.
That's like 8 years apart. Hogan beat Yokozuna at WrestleMania, not a Royal.
I know one of those had to be when Ric Flair won the belt.
No,
that was 92.
That was the main event. That was it.
Oh shit.
He said that the Rumble match itself was not the main event.
There have been quite a few Rumble matches that have been for straps.
Hold on. What year Rock versus CM Punk?
Wasn't that Mania?
No.
Was that Mania?
That was a Royal Rumble. The Rock versus CM Punk was a Royal Rumble match where Rock won the last Rock championship was won at the Royal Rumble.
You're 100% right.
I know one of them had to be 06, correct?
You said 06, Rom?
Yeah, because Ray won the Rumble, but I don't think that was the main event. Oh shit, that was right.
Was one of them. The main event was Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship.
And you really thought that was going to be better than the Rumble match itself?
You were right. Punk versus Rock did close out the show for the WWE Championship. Do you remember what year that was?
Better understand what the fuck I be doing.
Who the fuck remembers these things? Like shit.
I understand. I am Lexx motherfucking Vegas, and that's why he got to come back and tell me I'm right like 5 minutes later and shit. You know, Lexx Vegas.
Wasn't one two? You said one was 2003.
No,
one was 06.
Dave cheating. Dave over there googling shit. Okay, so we got like what 3? So give us the other 2.
Okay, so the very first Royal Rumble.
Wait, when because one of those was didn't Sean beat Psycho Sid at one of those? I can't remember the year. But I know he beat him for the belt.
I want to say those.
Correct.
Okay. So one.
I just don't remember the year.
All right. So the very first time
had to be 94.
No, it was later than that because Sid didn't last long in WWE. He did like 3 years.
Well, what year did Hall and Nash?
96 is one of them.
96.
Yeah, Hall and Nash left in 96.
All right. So the very first Royal Rumble, 1988, the main event was the Islanders versus the Young Stallions in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
The problem with that right there is that like nobody really, the Royal Rumble, you know about the first Royal Rumble, but you don't really consider it the Royal Rumble because it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing. It was like something that they were trying out. It was some little match that flew under the radar and shit, you know. And so then it wasn't a spectacle like before. So you don't really count that. The very first Royal Rumble you count as the one that Big John Studd won.
Yeah,
that's the one that I count.
That's
the
okay.
one that I count. I'm saying.
All right, because Jim Duggan did win the very first. Yeah,
I don't count because that one slid under the radar. Like that was just something that they tried. You know that shit happened.
That's probably why they gave it the hacksaw. All right, we're gonna see how this works. If it don't work, we know who to blame.
They gave it the hacksaw out of all motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That shit happened at like the mega, venue and shit. It didn't happen at like. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Mega, but what I'm saying is it slid under the radar. It wasn't WWE. It was the next best thing. See, I cleaned that up. What up, Brandon Xavier? You saw I clean that shit up real quick, though.
He talking mess. He talking mess, boss.
All right, so then
you're listening.
You sound like a slave now. You don't sound like a fucking.
Whoa.
What do I have to sound like?
Talking mess, boss.
Why
you have to call him boss, though?
Because he's the boss of the company. What do you mean why do I call him boss? He's the boss of the company.
You sound like you had a part in life.
He runs everything.
He sound like the Django and the D is silent.
I've had a rough.
No, he sound like the little thing from Lord of the Rings. Precious.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
All right, so then the next time that the main event of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view was not the Royal Rumble match was in 1996, Bret Hart versus The Undertaker with an assist by Diesel because Diesel was pissed that he lost the Rumble match for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. 97, Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels for the strap. 98, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in a casket match. 2006, Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry. 2013 was CM Punk versus The Rock.
Do you think the Royal Rumble match is going to be the main event this year because the match with Sammy or Owens and Roman?
That was actually going to be the next thing that we spoke about because we do have a Universal Championship match, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. Probably with an assist from Sami Zayn, because I think that his time in the bloodline is done.
Who is Sami siding with?
That's what I just said. His time in the bloodline is done.
Man, listen, I've been waiting on that shit since that shit started. there are 2 ways that can end. See, it all depends on who comes back. If the rumor is that The Rock is coming back. If The Rock,
you also have back, Cody Rhodes re-debuting in the Rumble match.
See, the problem with Cody is we already know that Cody's going to be in it.
Right.
I didn't understand why they did that. I thought that should have been like a surprise interest.
Right.
But whatever. But what I'm saying is, see, if The Rock wins, you don't want that already looming when Roman Reigns goes against Kevin Owens. You don't want to already know that The Rock is going to WrestleMania. You don't want to know that. So you'd rather have Roman versus KO first, then The Rock wins. Now it's a whole big. When The Rock comes out, it's like, holy shit. You know, Roman Reigns is still a champion. If Rock wins, he goes against Roman Reigns. But now, if The Rock comes out first and he wins, you already know what the fuck is going on. You got to get that mystique. Now, if The Rock's not there, then it makes more sense for the Rumble match to be last. Because then if Cody wins, because now you already know Roman's still the champion. Now you're just waiting to see who's going to face him at WrestleMania. If The Rock comes, you already know Rock's going to WrestleMania. You already know this shit. Why the fuck else would he be there?
Exactly.
Yeah. So if Roman already beats KO, which we know is going to happen, it's going to be some shit. They're not going to put the straps on KO going into WrestleMania. It makes no sense right now. But when Roman beats KO, now you're waiting like, holy shit, who's going to fucking step up to Roman?
And there is
there
is
that mystery factor there. I get
right, but there's also the rumor that the storyline the night after the Rumble is going to be that the entire Samoan family has to come and acknowledge Roman after he wins. So why put The Rock in the Rumble?
It makes more sense.
Well, here's why you do that. Here's why you do that. Because if Rock wins, let's say Lex's theory plays out, Roman beats KO. When all the family comes out the next night on Raw after The Rock wins, to be fair, Rock never gave up his seat. So everybody got to acknowledge Roman, but Rock ain't never give up his seat. So now it's a fight for the throne.
Yeah, but does The Rock Roman have to be for the title? Does it have to be for the title?
Yes. Yeah. Why would you not? Why would you not?
Right. It's okay. Why would I? If I'm the fucking champion and Rock won the fucking Royal Rumble, yes. Okay. Not only am I coming to take my motherfucking spot as the head of the table, but I'm taking your fucking title too. Yes, it makes perfect sense. Why would you not? Why would you have a champion not defend at WrestleMania? So regardless of the story.
So you don't. Now, what if they do this? And I know.
Not to mention, think about all the money that's going to come from that.
Exactly. Now, there is another scenario that we can play out. Now, SmackDown is on the air right now. It is the go-home show for the Rumble. We don't know what's happening, obviously, because we're here. But what if going into tomorrow night, somebody comes out, because there is that story that's out there too, that USA wants their own champion. So they want to split the belts.
I mean, you knew that was coming.
Right. But what if they come out and say that, yes, it's for the Universal Heavyweight Championship, but it's for the SmackDown Universal Championship, or it's for the Raw Universal Championship?
It's still money there. It's still money there.
Okay, first, it's not going to make any sense because you know that The Rock's not going to stay. Okay, so that wouldn't make any sense.
But then at least that way you can put a belt on KO and still have Roman lose, but he still has a championship for The Rock to come after at Mania.
No, it makes more sense if both belts are on the line when Rock, when Rock comes back, because like I said, it's money in that. First of all, you got your cousin going against your cousin. I ain't never gave up the seat. So if I ain't never give up the seat, how about we put everything on the line? The seat, both the belts, and the tribe. We put it all on the line at WrestleMania. Bro, you got the whole Samoan community by itself tuning into that.
But if you have Roman drop the belt now, he doesn't have as much mystique going into WrestleMania. Okay,
there is that.
Roman looks invincible now. He looks like
completely.
So you take that into WrestleMania. He either beats The Rock or he doesn't. But you can't derail his steam now. If you
that would be stupid.
If you take the belt off him, you let KO beat him. Even if Sammy turned and they jumped, it still takes away from Roman's mystique.
Right.
And you don't do that going into WrestleMania. You can do that shit after WrestleMania. You can do that shit going in SummerSlam and all that shit. But you don't do that shit. Roman needs to be at the top of his fucking game. He needs to be looking untouchable going in. And it looks like The Rock is the only motherfucker that can take his ass down.
Well, I mean, now that you say it that way, I kind of agreed with Lee, but before you or after you said it like that, I'm kind of think of it like the way you just said it. You can't take the title off of him now because, I mean, like these guys said, if it's going to be Rock versus him, you got to put everything on the line. I mean, what is it? 200 or no, 300 and some days as champion, right?
400.
400.
I thought it was 400 those.
I got the solution to splitting the titles. Easy, simple, makes sense. The fucking draft.
Yeah.
Okay. Draft Roman Reigns specifically to SmackDown. Then he has to give the belt up.
Then you have the tournament.
You see what I'm saying? And then you can put it on whoever the fuck you want to put it on.
Or what they're probably going to do is if The Rock wins both titles, then he leaves. They're probably going to do the draft like you said, like that.
Rock's not going to win the titles from Roman Reigns.
I don't think so either.
They bring him. If Rock comes back and you put everything, the tribe, the belts on the line, it's to pass the torch. Rock make more money in movies than he do in wrestling.
That's why they don't be there because Rock don't want to be there. Rock is like, okay, fine, I'll do it if the money's right, if it makes sense. But I don't want to be there.
Not only that, but I mean, around the time that Mania is going to be happening, the XFL is going to be in the beginning.
And he's going to be there.
And that's fine. That's fine. We're talking about a wrestling match. We're talking about one day where I got to be at WrestleMania. As opposed, you know what I'm saying? So if the money's there, I can be there. We can make this shit work. There's a reason why The Rock doesn't want to be there. Okay, you can make this shit work. If I got a whole opening for XFL, WrestleMania, I only got to be there one day. WrestleMania is 2 days. Of course, you're gonna put that on the second day. So all I got to do is make myself available on April the fucking 2nd.
And plus, XFL doesn't play on Sundays, right?
Yes, they're playing on Saturdays and Sundays.
Are they? I thought they were just doing Saturday.
No, because you got ESPN and ABC on Saturday.
I forgot to have that multiple contract with different.
I think it's CBS and NBC on Sundays.
Yeah, I think I forgot about that.
All right, but so we have that match. And I do think it's going to be Rock versus Roman at Mania. That's the only thing that makes sense. The whole head of the table gimmick, all of that. I agree with all of that.
That ain't just a gimmick, man. That's real life for them.
The next match that we have on this year's card, the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus, we might as well just call her what she is, Sister Abigail. At this point, she's turning back into the whole.
Alexa's winning.
You think so?
Yes.
For what?
I think it's time to.
Why?
I know. I agree with Lex. Bianca Belair, the EST of Raw.
Why derail that? She is literally so the money match of Raw is Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. That's
right.
The money match in WWE. As far as women go on Raw. Okay, so you don't derail. Now you can have Alexa damn near kill Bianca, but that makes Bianca look stronger.
I think either Bray or Uncle Howdy is going to interfere in that match and cost Alexa the match.
But you don't. That's another. You don't derail that right now because you gotta look ahead. I gotta be looking 2 months ahead. Okay, WrestleMania. Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. That is the money match. Okay, so you do whatever you can to make sure that both of them look as strong as possible going in to WrestleMania. Okay, you're either gonna make Bianca look like fucking Superwoman and shit, and Rhea Ripley just happens to be her kryptonite, or you're gonna make Rhea Ripley just look fucking dominant and let her take the belt. But either way,
does the Judgment Day need some kind of goal to be able to maintain their status?
Yes. I honestly believe because
they're trying to get corny, especially Finn Balor. Like Finn Balor is trying to get corny
and dominant. And Dominic's following around Rhea Ripley like some type of BDSM dude.
I kind of gotta say that the jail gimmick is working. Okay, people are really invested in that shit. You know it's fake as shit, but it's funny as hell.
I mean, it's just weird that she's in a stable with her husband. And she's going after Dominic Mysterio. Like, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But, I mean, kayfabe. She's married to Damian Priest.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Buddy Matthews.
No, bro.
She is
She's not.
dating Buddy Matthews.
Correct.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
hell you
That's an odd couple in itself.
No, she is best friends with Damian Priest. They are best. Her, Damian Priest, and Matt Riddle are all best friends.
Correct.
They travel together. Okay, she's dating Buddy Matthews.
Now that's an odd couple.
See, at this time, while Lee is looking up his information, I'd like to have y'all know that I am the host of the Lexx Vegas show every 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is tomorrow. Tune into my shit tomorrow. What next week? I mean, I drink a lot. Okay.
What's you drinking good there? Is it holy?
It's holy. It's definitely holy.
Ooh.
All right, so her stuff has
It's a whole hell of a night, is what he's saying.
Yes, Lex, you were right. Say it. Come on, say it with me, Lex.
Yes, Rome, you were right. She is not married to Damian Priest.
No.
That was Lex that said that. I disagreed.
Yeah, right, bro. Okay, don't let him try to take my shit. Fuck that.
All right, you were right.
For those watching and those that will be watching, Lex likes to take all the credit.
Absolutely.
All right, so then the next match we have is the Men's Royal Rumble. Currently listed as the participants, we only know 15 of 30.
So that means the other 15 are surprise entrants.
You know who I hope is a surprise entrance, honestly, because I don't see where he can go from here, is Braun Breaker.
Yes.
I don't see what else you can do in NXT. What like there's nobody up and coming that we really believe can beat Braun Breaker on the roster. Okay, so I think that he should, and I think that he should at least be in the final 4.
I say final 6, not final.
I give him final 2. Let's see what he looks like. Let's see what he looks like in a big like a really big stage. Like let's see what he looked like in a really big situation and see how he do.
It was in the one article I had, and then they took it out.
Think about this: the Bloodline. You know, both the Steiner brothers just signed legend deals. Let's think about that for a second. You bring Braun, in my mind, I think Braun should have been the one to take down Roman. I think it was, if you want to build a monster the same way that you built Brock, you could have done that with Braun. Braun got it. He got the size. He got the look. He can wrestle. And you have that family lineage you can use in a feud with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
You bring, I don't give a fuck who the Usos, and just imagine Solo Sikoa going nose to nose with Scott Steiner.
Hey, now that you bring that up, let's not forget so many WrestleManias ago, the Steiners did beat some family members in the head shrinkers. Yeah.
That would work.
We ain't forgot.
You could have shot Braun Breaker straight to the top.
All right. So the currently known participants, and we don't know who's going to be announced tonight on SmackDown yet, if anybody gets announced tonight on SmackDown. There are 15 for the men's match and only 7 for the women's.
The women's got
that means more surprises for the women.
You know, but at this point, I don't see the surprises more than I think there'll be a few call-ups
from NXT.
You know, I think because NXT I watched NXT like I'm not a big NXT fan, but I watched it like a week or so ago, and there are a lot of chicks in NXT. There's a lot of women wrestlers in NXT, like a lot of them.
Who do you think will be the biggest surprise for the women's?
Nikita Lyons.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but Asuka is.
That'd be something to watch right there.
I think Nia Jax might come back too.
I
hope so. Because that's Charlotte's kryptonite right there.
Right.
Yeah, that was Charlotte's kryptonite. She couldn't stand, like the heat between them two was so real. I couldn't wait to see that match.
You also have to remember too, Asuka's coming back rebranded as her original Japanese character.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have fucked her stint up in the first place. How you have her win the Royal Rumble, the very first women's Royal Rumble? How you have her win it? And she don't even go on to win the belt. Like, what kind of sense did that make? You wasted a women's Royal Rumble.
If you paid, no, you didn't, because if you paid attention, you would have saw that her win didn't matter anyway, because it was overshadowed immediately by Ronda Rousey coming out.
Yep.
Okay. Why did you bring Ronda Rousey out at that moment?
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? You had Asuka win the fucking Royal Rumble. Then you have her looking back and forth between Charlotte and fucking Alexa Bliss. That's that moment right there. And then you bring Ronda Rousey out. They totally forgot about Asuka at that moment.
Yep.
At that moment. At that point, nobody gave a shit about Asuka.
Yep.
So
And they should have.
really fucking matter. So you,
Nope.
I don't know why you even expected her to even do the shit. Because they showed
And if
that
I
that
was
win
Asuka,
did not matter.
and if I was Asuka, I would have gone backstage and beaten the shit out of Ronda Rousey for that.
Yeah,
And probably looked at
hold on,
Stephanie.
You might not like Ronda Rousey, but Ronda Rousey is a professional MMA fighter.
Oh no, I
back there and beating
Oh,
Ronda
no.
Rousey's ass. Hold on now, like
You don't
fuck
think
that.
you don't think Naomi shows up?
Shit. I don't think so. Only because from what I've heard. Now this is what I've heard, but she's seeking money that Sasha's getting in New Japan, and that just happened. So I don't see Naomi going back with everything. The focus of the women's wrestling world is on Sasha in New Japan right now. That's the biggest women's story ever. So
Mercedes money
with her.
Yep.
But how do I look? We both walked out this bitch together.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're the biggest star in the fucking world right now as far as women go, and I come back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not a good look.
Who's your surprise for the women's?
Asuka's rebrand.
Trish.
No, you
Lita.
gotta have someone.
Oh, what is
that's
her
big.
name? What is her name? Kyrie Zane. I think Kyrie Zane's coming.
She did just leave AEW, so yeah, there's a possibility of that. Yeah.
I think Kyrie Zane comes back, like he said, Nikita Lyons. I definitely think maybe even Zoe Stark. You know, those bigger chicks.
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose.
They might bring Mandy Rose back. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring Lacey Evans back with another gimmick. Okay.
This is like 15th in like 3 months.
Well, she screwed up her own gimmick by getting pregnant because she had that hot run at that time, and she ended up getting pregnant and take all that.
But
time
they've
off.
brought her back like 7-8 times, and she's had a different every time.
Like I mean, like when they play her vignettes, I don't even know who the fuck they're talking
Exactly,
about. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
But
And now all
speaking,
of a sudden she's coming doing the Cobra clutch. Like you left all that time, you rebranded, and that's what you came back with.
speaking of the Women's Royal Rumble, we'll start with the Women's Royal Rumble since there's less participants in that one. We have confirmed Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler,
like her,
Zelina Vega, Emma, and Rhea Ripley.
Rhea's gonna win it then.
What about Chelsea Green? You think she comes back? Or
See,
comes?
that's the thing. What if Chelsea Green? I mean, I know we're still talking about the women right now, but even Matt Cardona popping back in. Like, I mean, he's been throwing all this stuff on Instagram, Twitter, and everything.
He has.
I
I seen him on a podcast talking about.
Well, he'll be at a toy show here in Ohio in a couple of weeks. I'll talk to him.
So, out of those, you got to go with Rhea.
Rhea.
It makes so much sense for Rhea to win, no matter who's in it.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the money match. You know, it doesn't matter who's in. You pretty much know that.
Would you rather her go against Bianca Belair, or would you rather have her try to jump ship and go over to SmackDown and take on Charlotte?
I want to see her versus Bianca, to be honest.
You already saw her against Charlotte, and Charlotte beat her.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense anymore. It's not that match is, you know, it doesn't have that mystique. It was like when Warrior went to fucking WCW. You're looking at him and Hogan.
Fight Hogan again.
Right. You're like, okay.
I beat him already. Why I need to come back?
One name that I am shocked to not see on here is Ronda Rousey, because you would think that she would want to get her rematch against Charlotte.
I'm sure
She's a surprise. She's a surprise.
They have no idea what to do with Ronda right now. Ronda, the next step, I've been reading that her and Shayna Baszler are going to go after the tag team championship.
I heard that too.
And so I think that they're still trying to figure Ronda out, you know, and that's just it.
But I mean, that's just it.
Mind, just because they're not confirmed doesn't mean they're not in it.
Exactly.
You know, that just means that they don't know what the fuck they're going to do with them yet.
There is some scuttle.
Or they don't want you to know they're in the Rumble. They just give you this. Take these 7 and run with that.
Surprise, especially at like if you at 27, 28, 29, even 30, you're gonna think Ronda's gonna win that bitch. You know, you're gonna think that she's gonna win it. So that keeps the mystique going.
Right.
You know, especially if she comes out as a surprise entrance.
Right. Now for the men's, we have 15. And these are in no particular order. This is just how Fightful has it listed. Kofi Kingston, Santos Escobar, Ricochet. Exactly. Ricochet.
I wish they'd do something with him, man. Like seriously.
I don't like Baron Corbin.
No, I'm talking about Ricochet. Fuck Baron Corbin. I'm talking about Ricochet.
I think Ricochet needs to leave WWE and go back to New Japan.
He may. Well, I'm saying that. But Ricochet is another little guy. He's a little ass dude. So it's like.
I mean, but he had a phenomenal run in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma, though.
Because everybody is the same size in Lucha Underground.
Well, true.
Okay, everybody's fucking 5'4". Okay.
Hey man, you gonna quit fucking with the short people, man.
But I mean, look at the run that I can't even. Pentagon Jr. is having right now in AEW with the Death Triangle. I mean, he's there with Neville and
What's your point?
God, what's the kid's name?
Lex, why you gotta be such a dick towards the short people, man?
Okay, let's talk about that real quick.
Oh shit!
No, seriously. I believe in kayfabe. Do you know what the actual definition of kayfabe is? What is kayfabe? Do you know, Ro?
Not off the top of my head, but I know it's got to do with staying in character and keeping the tradition alive.
What kayfabe is?
It's the Carney tradition.
It's protecting the image of professional wrestling.
Right.
It's protecting the realism image of you. Make it. We want it to look real. Okay, and let's just call a spade a spade. Okay, Pentagon Jr. Yes, he's a good, very good wrestler, but he's small. So if I'm sitting there looking at him standing in front of Kane, I'm going to think Kane's going to win because Kane he's a bigger guy. Okay, professional wrestlers, that's just it. Professional wrestlers are made to look like superheroes. Okay, they're made to look. Why do you think the biggest pro wrestlers are the biggest dickheads? Because they stay away from John Cena. He may do fucking Make-A-Wish and shit, but you can't even talk to John Cena backstage. Okay? Because he's a bigger than average motherfucker. Okay? Professional wrestling keeps their wrestlers looking like superheroes. Okay? The underdog role doesn't work but so often. Okay? So when you have motherfucking Pentagon Jr., you have fucking Ricochet, you have fucking Daniel Bryan, you have CM Punk, you have Sammy Guerrero, all the motherfuckers, yeah, they're great wrestlers, but they look like little motherfuckers, okay? They look like motherfuckers that can't fight, okay? If I was walking down the street and I wanted somebody to fight for me, I damn sure choose Roman Reigns over Ricochet, okay? That's just it.
I just seen little motherfuckers knock out big niggas though, man.
Okay, and you can name those times because it doesn't happen very often. Okay, that's the whole fucking point. Do you know why kayfabe is so dead? Do you know why motherfuckers love Kevin Owens? Because he looks like Lee Money. Okay, no, he looks like Lee Money. He's shaped like Lee Money. He looks like Lee. He looks like the average motherfucker walking down Denison right now. Okay, that's why they love him, but that's why he can't be the face of the company. Because he doesn't have the look. He doesn't have that kayfabe look. So it's not that I don't like small guys. I just think that they belong where they belong. I believe 205 Live should still be a thing. Okay, take your little ass down there. I believe that the motherfucking Cruiserweight Championship should still be a thing. Keep your little ass in the Cruiserweight division. Ricochet could be the greatest Cruiserweight of all time.
Didn't he win the Cruiserweight Invitational?
I don't know.
He
I
did.
don't watch the Cruiserweight Invitational. Okay. But this is what I'm saying. This is why I believe in kayfabe. I believe in making them. I believe in Brian Cage before I believe in Darby Allin. You understand what I'm saying? That's just it.
All right, but after Corbin, we have Austin Theory.
I would love for Austin Theory to win the Rumble. I would love it.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Why?
Why? Because it's going. Do you know how much people are going to bitch and moan and cry because Vince handpicked boy actually won the Rumble?
I forgot about that part. I did. I forgot about that part.
And now they're talking about Vince is coming back, and all of a sudden Theory wins the Rumble. That would throw the wrestling world in a fucking tizzy. Okay, I said tizzy.
Vince is back, but
that's my point.
Yeah, but we got Lashley, Rey Mysterio. Gunther, who I like Gunther.
I didn't like Gunther at first. I like him now, and I like him as a whole.
Yeah, Imperium. It's that old school feel. It's that old school feel.
I love them as a faction.
And then you have Cody, Omos, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Karrion Kross.
The word on
A lot of big motherfuckers in this Royal Rumble, man.
The word on the street is that Brock is going to be there.
I mean, we did just see Monday night on Raw 30 that Brock did interrupt Bobby Lashley's rematch against Austin Theory for the United States Championship. So there's definitely going to be some beef between Brock and Solo Sika. Yeah. So
who do you think is going to be the biggest surprise in there? If you got to pick two people.
Well, you can't even call The Rock or Cody a surprise anymore because that's all people talk about. So I would.
And Cody is a confirmed entrant. So
right.
Rumor had it that
if we got to call it a surprise, I definitely think it would be a surprise seeing Matt Cardona in there or Zack Ryder or whoever you want to call him.
I mean, if he comes back, I think Zack Ryder's dead. He's probably going to come back as Matt Cardona.
Correct. He did say that on the podcast that he's not. If he did come back, he's not coming back as Zack Ryder.
Woo woo woo. You know it.
You know it.
Don't do that in your life.
For me, I mean, there's been some scuttlebutt that Stone Cold might come back as well. I would really like to see, because they've been doing a lot with DX recently. I mean, they were just on the Raw 30 and stuff like that.
They also punked out in front of Gunther, so I don't see none of it. They all punked out in front of Gunther.
Well, they did.
Triple H looked at Gunther and like, yeah, I'm retired.
I'm retired now.
I ain't anybody go over there. I ain't anybody fuck myself up.
Well, all right. So maybe not Shawn or Triple H, but I mean, it might be cool to see X-Pac or maybe.
No, that's not happening. I wouldn't see that happening. If you got legends,
if anybody from DX went, it'll probably be Road Dogg.
It probably would.
That's who I could see being in there. If anybody from DX.
What about Orton coming back?
Orton could be a surprise entrant because he is saying that he's close to a return.
You got Matt Riddle.
Matt
Riddle. Yep.
What about CM Punk?
Fuck him.
Nah, nope.
No. Lee Money did a whole show about saying fuck, and I was so on point. I like to go back to that real quick. That when me and Lee Money sat here and did his show and we talked about CM Punk, I was so on point with what would happen if CM Punk came back. And it happened exactly the way I said. That motherfucker's gonna come back and they're gonna run his ass out the locker room. They fucking hate this dickhead. Okay, I've hated CM Punk since I've hated CM Punk.
It seems like the only two people that want CM Punk back in AEW is FTR. Yeah. And then you have Chris Jericho on Talk Is Jericho basically stating that if he tried showing his face at an AEW event, that Jericho would be the one to throw him out.
I like it. I've never liked CM. I ain't like CM Punk since he fucking took his ball and ran home and shit when Batista won the Royal Rumble. I didn't like the shit. Okay, there's a Royal Rumble moment for you. When Batista won, CM Punk fucking cried, okay, that the big guys are still winning every fucking thing. He took his ball and ran. Fuck you, CM Punk. And what's his name? Paul? Ain't that his first name?
Phil Cox.
Phil Cox.
Phil.
All right.
Damn.
Phil Brooks.
Phil Brooks. Too. Okay. Fuck all of them.
Now, the crazy part is that we've only heard two sides of the story. We've heard the Elite's side of the story, and we've heard Punk's side of the story. We've never heard the middle ground from AEW, so we don't even know what the truth is.
Okay,
and
if you don't want them there, that's the truth.
Period. Exactly. And I do find it very interesting that the Elite, who have more skeletons in their closet than CM Punk ever will, are allowed back in AEW, and CM Punk is still sitting at home collecting the rest of the money from his contract.
What about Miro? You think Miro shows up?
No. Big plans for Miro in AEW. Big plans for Miro in AEW.
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought about this.
What about
this? What about this as a surprise entrance? Curtis Axel.
They did that a couple of years ago, and
why though?
He was eliminated by AJ Styles.
That don't make no sense.
I mean, for comedic purposes, it's damn funny.
I would rather see Shoosh than fucking Curtis Axel.
Now Eric Rowan could come back.
Rowan could come back.
You're building something around Bray, so Rowan could come back.
Yes.
You also got what was
it just wouldn't be the same without Luke though.
That
I mean,
is
it
true.
wouldn't be, but you're gonna make sure it's not the same. It can't be the same.
Well, you're introducing a new character with Uncle Howdy anyway.
What about
so.
FTR coming back?
Well, the speculation with Uncle Howdy is that it is Harper. It's either Harper or not Harper, but Rowan or Brute. Both.
Not happy in AEW.
They're not, but they also
opposed
said
to
that they were only going to take independent bookings until whatever happens between them and Tony Khan gets settled. So,
and then they go to WWE.
True, or they go back to AEW. But we'll see. FTR is one of those tag teams that you would love to see anywhere. I know that they're going to be doing some stuff with New Japan. And, I mean, the forbidden door has been opened quite a few times this year by WWE, allowing Asuka and Bayley and all of them to go.
And you realize it's been all female, too.
Because you have the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers went to Japan. And because he had to, what's his name? Carl Anderson.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
Well, here's the thing. You don't want to piss off New Japan when it comes to a contract dispute. Like, if you got bookings in New Japan, you take your ass to New Japan. I don't care what Vince got to say. Because
Carl Anderson almost ate some.
Shut the whole goddamn internet down. You keep fucking with him.
Well, Carl Anderson was in some heat, to say the least, about that Noah championship when he almost didn't go to Japan to defend it. So,
you don't want to piss off New Japan.
No.
I think Carmelo Hayes might be in the Royal Rumble. I think it's about that's another Carmelo Hayes from NXT. Like, that's another one where, like, what else can you do? What else can you do in NXT?
Would this be the year that Greg Irons finally gets a shot in the Royal Rumble?
I like Greg Irons. They'll bring Zach Gowen back before they.
Zach Gowen was at SmackDown last week.
He was. But hey, it is. But I kind of think like he's another one of those guys, and you might test a few guys. You might have like Grayson Waller, in the Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, you might have was it Grinch, whatever, the dude that was with the gay guy now. Mace, Marseille.
I know you're talking about
Marseille. Who was T-Bar? T-Bar.
Yep.
They rebranded him, and now he's something like that.
No, it is in San Antonio. I mean, are there any homegrown talents from San Antonio that they might try to throw in there?
HBK.
Yeah, you could have Booker T. I mean, hey, that's
you could have Stone Cold too.
I mean, Booker did come out on his podcast and just recently, and he said that he has not been asked.
That don't no. I mean, he could be participating in kayfabe too. He could say he wasn't asked, but in reality, he shows up and he comes out.
There has been rumor that both members of Harlem Heat might be making an appearance, though.
That'd be good. I mean, Harlem Hangover, and then Booker eliminates Stevie Ray.
But there is only one more announced match, which means that these Rumble matches are going to be long.
You know, there'll be some type of little filler match that they'll throw in there. They always do some shit that they ain't announced. It'll be Phantasmo versus Hit Row or some shit. Nobody wants to see. I'm glad that neither one of them assholes are in the Rumble. I cannot stand them two dickheads, man.
But the only other announced match is the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
The fuck is that?
Against Bray Wyatt.
Don't want to see.
Against Bray Wyatt and LA Knight.
First of all, I'm gonna tell you, I'm more with LA Knight in this match because I'm sick of Bray Wyatt already. This motherfucker's been back for 3 months and has not wrestled a match besides some house shows and shit. This motherfucker comes out, does the same fucking promo every fucking week. He does the same shit. Ain't wrestled, ain't did shit. I'm more interested in LA Knight at this point because fuck Bray Wyatt.
LA Knight's another one of those throwback characters like to early 90s wrestling. It has a very big Monday Night War feel to his character. I think he's annoying as shit.
Of course he is.
But I mean, I'm digging.
I'm glad that they brought it. They separating from the male models. And
Oh
shit.
god, I'm sitting here and I'm just like
the worst.
Max Dupree.
That was the worst idea.
Oh god,
ever.
But I'm sitting there and I'm just like, the American males is sitting there watching at home. Like, why did this fail in WCW if you're going to bring it back?
Chuck and Billy. Okay. But I'm saying that is like these motherfuckers. Every time that they do something, then they pose in the middle of a fucking match. I just want to scratch my own eyes out, man.
It's not the 5-second pose that Edge and Christian used to do back in the.
No.
I mean, it's no different from what Rick the Model used to do.
No, the fuck. Yes, the fuck it is. Yes, the fuck it is. These motherfuckers, you'll flip one of these motherfuckers over your head, then land on their feet
one of
and pose and shit.
One of the
Fuck
matches at the
shit.
was it the 95?
Some real feminine shit too.
One of the matches at the 95 or 96 Royal Rumble was a pose down between Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior.
Yep. Okay, that's different. We're talking about a pose down like muscle building and shit. I'm talking about these motherfuckers will stop and squeeze both of their nipples and shit and look at the camera. Okay, no, fuck that shit. We are not going to compare those two. Absolutely not.
All right. We are a little late going to break here, but we are going to take a break because we do got some bills to pay here at Redline Radio.
See what you done did, Lee? You done pissed off fucking Lex.
What else is new? Every time Lex is on my show, I find some fucking way of pissing him off.
Man.
So, but we're going to take a quick break here on Money's Crazy Mind. When we come back, we will finish breaking down some Royal Rumble history. We'll finish out the show with some Royal Rumble trivia, and then we will give our final thoughts on what we think is going to happen with the Royal Rumble 2023 and what we saw at Raw 30 that has all of us scratching our heads. We'll be right back here on Money's Crazy Mind here on Redline Radio LLC. Redline Radio is proud to partner with Growing Wings Adult Services, the proud sponsor of our state-of-the-art production studio. The team at Growing Wings has over 7 years' experience of helping adults with disabilities in the Northeast Ohio area. If Lisa Summers and the team at Growing Wings can help your family, contact them at 234-334-7547 today. And mention that you heard all about Growing Wings right here on Redline Radio LLC. You know, one of the things that people don't really know that I'm into is die-cast car collecting. And when I was looking for that holy grail piece, I looked no further than Pit Road Diecast. They helped me look for it. I found it. I bought it. Bill and the team definitely went out of their way to help me find and track it down so that I could purchase it. So if you have a story like mine, give Bill and the team at Pit Road Diecast a call. 216-355-2347. Mention that you found Pit Road Diecast on Redline Radio LLC and receive $5 off your in-store purchase. Lee Money here from Money's Crazy Mind, and you know you heard them right here on this very show. Bad Juju, they are the official band of Redline Radio LLC, and you can check them out on their Facebook page to see where you can check them out live, and make sure you let them know that you heard about them right here on Redline Radio LLC. Do you own your own small business? Do you want to get more advertising? Check us out at Redline Radio LLC. We are always accepting brand new sponsorships to get your business more recognition. Get a hold of Dave from Redline Radio today at 440-503-0828. And for all of our programming information, you can check us out on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, LinkedIn. We got it all. Just search Redline Radio LLC and it'll let you know when and where your favorite Redline Radio show is on. And of course, you can listen to all of our great programming and live 24-hour music on the Redline Radio LLC app. You can find it on the Google Play Store, but you can also check us out at redlineradiolllc.com, where we are always live.
Oh wow, that sounds really great. Wow, that sounds like a really good deal.
Who are you talking to?
The Northeast Ohio Ghostbusters.
Hello, Northeast Ohio Ghostbusters. What are you wearing?
Khakis?
Well, that sounds hideous.
Well, they're Ghostbusters.
All right. We are coming back here. We were just having an interesting conversation off camera here. But welcome back into the asylum, everybody. More like second 45 minutes because we went to break a little bit late, but I did want to end the conversation with it being as good as it was. So welcome back into the asylum. We got a guest galore plethora here. Joining us still from Mega Championship Wrestling, we've got the good Pastor CeeLo.
Yes.
And playing on his phone, we got Peter Popoff, Mr. AKA himself, Lexx Vegas.
The host of the Lexx Vegas show every Thursday night, 7 p.m. here, Red Line Radio. Don't fucking clear your nasty ass throat while I'm plugging my shit. Okay? Rude muff. Okay, I want y'all to know that the one that was rude was the owner of Red Line Radio, Dave Wallenchiz. Okay? Wallenchiz. Okay? And he got a show somewhere on Red Line Radio sometime on some day, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay?
Co-host of the Steel City Renegades, which will be back right around the draft. We'll be having our draft special live from the IX Center, and also the co-host of Unscripted, which is Saturday. Well, when is Unscripted?
It is Saturday mornings from 10 till noon. I have a very special guest this week, and we can't mention it until Saturday who the guest co-host is, but you guys out there will like it.
And then also joining us from 4th and 15 and the 216 Sports Network, we've got Mel, part of 4th and 15 and the 216 Sports Network. 4th and 15 will be returning very, very soon. All right, so before we went to break, we were breaking down the card of this year's Royal Rumble. Now, Raw, the 30th anniversary of Raw was just this past Monday night, and the Bella Twins had some very interesting comments to say about the 30th anniversary of Raw, mainly about the cage match that never was between Bayley and Becky Lynch. Now, apparently that segment was cut due to time because the bloodline angle went too long. And they also said that there was not enough representation of the women's revolution on the show. But yet you had Charlotte Flair, the current SmackDown Women's Champion, come out being escorted by her father in the ring with the current Raw Women's Champion, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. And then that turned into a match between Bianca Belair and Sonya Deville. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there another women's match on that card as well?
Yeah, but everybody fell asleep through it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get what the Bellas are saying, but for those of us that grew up in the Monday Night Wars, what women's wrestling did we have up until the late 90s, like late 98, early 99? Like you had Alundra Blaze, but
she left and dropped the title in the garbage.
Not even that. She was the only consistent woman on WWE TV, not named Sherry or Elizabeth. Like Luna Vachon she barely wrestled. Don't get me wrong, love Luna, rest in peace, but she barely wrestled. She was always Bam Bam's main squeeze. Then she hung out with Shawn and Goldust, and she went down the line. What consistent women's wrestling did we have back then?
I mean, back in the Attitude Era, though, I mean, it was all about big breasts and brawn panties matches. I mean, and it was right. It was always Terry Reynolds because she was married. She was married to Goldust and Sable. I mean, the potato sack. Who can forget the potato sack on Raw when Mark Merrow's trying to cover up when she's got nothing but pasties on her titties? I mean,
what about when Miss Kitty took her top off at the what was that?
St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Yeah. Another moment that you can't find unless you own the VHS of St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Or you search the internet.
Here's my problem with the Bella Twins and their beef. You're mad that the bloodline angle went over, but you're not mad that they had 2.5 segments of a fucking card game in the back with fucking APA and shit. Like, you're not mad at that shit. Took up time. The bloodline is at least a relevant thing. Okay, you're mad at the bloodline going over.
Right.
These motherfuckers had two.
And who was the only current WWE superstar that was even involved? And I mean, I know
with Baron Corbin. That was it.
But I mean, you had Tozawa there, but you had Otis sitting there. You had Shoosh, I can't even remember his name.
And
Chad Gable.
Elias was there. He was sitting in the back. He just didn't say shit.
Right. But that whole segment, that whole 2.5 segments that you're talking about, was built around JBL and Baron Corbin. And
they got jacked.
Like, what's the purpose? What is the purpose now of JBL being with Baron Corbin? Like,
there's nothing.
Because
there's nothing.
Nowhere. They made you look like two jackasses at the end of these two fucking segments.
You lost your money. The Money Inc. Money Inc. ain't been credible since '94.
IRS looked like he couldn't even figure out what the fuck was going on. Okay,
I was waiting for IRS to walk Bray Wyatt down to the ring, just be like, "Here's my kid." Right. Like, might as well just give that up.
Right. Let's do that shit. But what I'm saying is, you're mad because something that is the biggest fucking storyline in professional wrestling. Fuck the WWE right now. The bloodline is the biggest story in professional wrestling.
You have Uzi signs showing up on AEW television.
Exactly. So if that shit goes over, so the fuck be it. Okay? But you mad at this shit? You got this motherfucker. These motherfuckers walk through a doorway with no walls. And we just okay, we gonna talk about this shit. Let's talk about this shit. Okay? Then you got Tozawa there.
Hold on, wait. You're talking about the APA's office right now. You gotta be cool about that.
Huh?
I said you gotta be cool about talking about the APA's office. You knock on that door.
Okay.
You knock on that door.
Okay.
Hey, you know what I say about that door? Damn!
You knock on that damn door. You don't get grounded.
Thank you.
I would have enjoyed that better.
Not only that, but you have DDP back there.
Why didn't you have when DX was punking out against fucking Imperium? Why didn't you have an APA come out there there? That shit would have been gold. Okay, instead I'm watching these motherfuckers play cards and shit.
But then you have the Street Profits of all people come out. You could have had APA, DDP was there. I mean, there was a number of legends.
That was a waste of space. Like to me.
That was a nostalgia match. All that was the older school passing the torch to the new guys. That's all that was. If you really look at that match, that was new school being schooled in a promo by the old school. Okay, that's why they brought DX out and they brought Kurt Angle out. You didn't know what the fuck Kurt Angle was doing there. Then he looks all goofy and shit. Boom.
Well, he did say he always wanted to be a part of DX.
Right. Okay, and that was fine. But then, okay. So
the only official member of D-Generation X and The Shield, Kurt Angle.
But there you go.
Only you would remember that.
I would rather you looking for motherfuckers to fight Imperium and shit. You know what I'm saying? I would have much rather the APA come out. I've heard stories that AOP might be coming back. You could have had them motherfuckers come out.
Yeah.
You could have had anybody come. I wouldn't have even cared if fucking Sheamus and Drew came out. I wouldn't have gave a shit. But you put the Street Profits.
Now that's a match. Brawling Brutes versus the Imperium.
Exactly. Do that shit. Run that shit back. They remember Sheamus and fucking Gunther had their match.
Yeah.
It was Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. Run that shit back. You got motherfuckers. Oh, we don't know nobody doesn't want to fight you. Okay, we got some motherfuckers. It's fight night. That shit people would have went crazy for that shit.
Or, I mean, you're in fucking Philadelphia. You couldn't dust off any ECW guys?
They all beat the fuck up.
Okay, they have dead right now. Shit.
Yeah.
Sabu can barely walk. Okay. Fucking
Sandman don't know where he is.
He don't know where the fuck he is right now. Tommy Dreamer just sucks.
Yeah, Bully Ray's over there fucking getting into it with Mickey James.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's ECW where the fuck it is.
That's another name to watch out for in the men's is Nick Aldis. Because he just got released and they're talking about him aligning with William Regal.
Is he still the NWA World Heavyweight Champion though?
No. Tyrus is now.
Tyrus.
My point is that doesn't make sense because nobody knows who the fuck Nick is. So that would bringing him back, and you got to be a hardcore independent wrestling fan to know who Nick Aldis is.
Not only that, but he could come into the whole stigma of he's Mickey James' husband, kind of like when we had the Kanellis.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
but okay, so you know him as Mickey James' husband. Who the fuck is he?
Exactly.
That's the point. It's like you when you do a surprise.
There's no name behind it.
Somebody that you hear their music and you, oh shit, I ain't heard that shit in forever. Or this motherfucker, holy shit, this motherfucker's here. But you bring a guy like Nick Aldis, he's an indie wrestling darling. Like you bring that motherfucker to fucking Mega Championship Wrestling in Elyria, Ohio. See, I plugged that. You bring him and it's a big deal. But what I'm saying is because Mega is indie wrestling, so indie wrestling fans follow Mega, so they would know who he is. You bring that motherfucker to the Royal Rumble, you have no idea who the hell this motherfucker is. Okay, he's gonna get no reaction. It's just gonna be a waste of space.
Right.
They're gonna treat him like Virgil.
Right.
Now,
I'd rather Virgil come back. Shit, at least they know that.
No.
Is he bringing his table and his marker?
He might.
The only other complaint that I had,
Virgil.
the only other complaint that I had about Raw 30, other than the logo, because the damn thing did look like it was booking a porno. Was you had all this nostalgia and all that stuff, all these great Raw, legends coming back in the first half of the show, and then the second half of the show.
I said that all of the nostalgia was in the beginning of the show. Like, I didn't like that at all.
No, I mean, you could have you had DDP there, and all he did was just sit there and watch people play cards. He didn't even really play cards. You could have had DDP come out and be the special guest referee in the Bobby Lashley Austin Theory match. You could have had, Paul Heyman was fantastic, shitting all over Philadelphia, knowing that they're in the home of ECW. Right. That was brilliant.
Why the fuck did the Undertaker come out as
an American badass?
Why the fuck did they do it? Like, that shit made zero sense. Like, can you imagine Undertaker and fucking
here's what bothered me.
Together in the ring, like, you know what I'm saying?
Especially when he did that moment where he whispered in Bray's ear, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck?
More sense if he was the dead man.
Red Devil.
Lex, you stole my thunder, man.
Dead man, but just be Red Devil Undertaker, not American coming out to fucking Kid Rock. Congratulations, you just got to pay Kid Rock more money to bring that fucking song back.
Lex, you stole it, man. Because I'm thinking like, all right, you always book Bray as this creepy dude, but you always book the Undertaker as the devil incarnate, and all of a sudden, for nostalgic purposes, you have him sitting in the ring as the American badass talking to Bray. Why not just hand him the dark hood and say it's yours? Like, don't do the motorcycle gimmick. Like,
how the fuck can we figure this shit out and y'all can't do that shit instead? Shit.
That would. And then what bothers me about that part even more is the fact that they had a match together. It was creepy dude versus creepy dude. And all of a sudden, this is the best you could come up with?
This is the best you can come up with. That shit would have made so much more sense.
And
you could have did so much more with it.
Dude, I mean, when Undertaker fought Bray, they had the projector projecting like the maggots and all kinds of stuff all over the ring, and it was an amazing match. But you could have done like the Firefly Funhouse match that they wasted on John Cena. You could have done that with Dead Man Undertaker. You could have. I mean, I know he's dead, but hell, dig up fucking Percy Pringle and have him come back. There was so much shit you could have done.
I hated that segment so much.
It made no sense.
I think that was the worst one out of the whole show. I think that was.
And you could tell that Undertaker was stiff as shit.
Oh yeah,
he could barely get up the fucking steps.
Oh yeah,
Undertaker was stiff as hell when he was out. But that made more sense for him to come out with the dead man gimmick. Now you can move slow. You can do that shit. Okay, that way. What the fuck were y'all thinking?
And not only, I mean, even
that had to be a Vince decision.
No, I think that was a Triple H decision.
That was definitely not a Vince decision. I guarantee you that Vince is all about the money, and no Undertaker is more money than the dead man. Fuck that.
Even my wife mentioned it. Undertaker definitely is out of shape.
That motherfucker was looking.
He's 90 years old. He don't need to be in shape. He ain't wrestling.
But he's definitely out of shape. The only part of his hair that he had time to adjust for men was that big ass I really hope that was a fucking weave. Like that's the only thing I can hope for is that fucking ponytail was a weave, because that had Paul motherfucking Heyman back in ECW written all over it.
He's getting close to this Bianca Belair status. That bitch, as soon as he turned his head, that bitch spun around. Like, hell no.
He walked up to Bianca. Can I borrow that? But yeah, I mean, it just made no sense. You have LA Knight out there calling out a legend. You have the gongs playing. You have the lightning. You have everything going, and then all of a sudden you hear Kid Rock. And I'm like, what? Why?
I could have left that back in 2001, 2002.
I throw this out there. Just follow me on this one. LA Knight. Think about LA Knight, the way he looks, the way he dresses.
Yeah.
He kind of like dresses kind of like
he kind
of just like Razor Ramon, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the vest, the trunks, everything like that. He calls out a legend. Stone Cold comes out.
That would have been perfect.
His Stone Cold stuns him.
That would have made more sense.
Oh, here comes Bray.
Yeah.
It would have made more fucking sense than the Undertaker driving his fucking motorcycle down there. You watch him fucking skirt that bitch around the fucking things. He couldn't even drive that motherfucker. He was moving it with his feet.
Yeah.
He was literally going around the fucking ring with his feet on the motorcycle and shit. He couldn't drive that bitch no more. He probably can't see. He's old. But, you know what I'm saying? It just made no sense. Like,
it didn't.
You call out a legend. Stone Cold, the glass breaks, everybody goes crazy. Stone Cold comes in, you know what I'm saying? He fucking stuns him. He don't even have to say shit. Stuns him, drinks a couple beers, pours it on him, lights go out.
Here comes Bray.
Yeah. He's got the whole world
in
his hand. That shit would have made more sense. You'd have got a big ass pop for that shit.
Yeah.
You know, but here comes this motherfucker.
I mean,
he should have just came out. If you're gonna do all that, just go rolling. You might as well go take it all the way back.
Well, he had Badass first, and then it
no,
was.
he had Rolling first.
Yeah, it started with
It started with
no, because when he came back at Judgment Day 2001, the song you hear is Kid Rock's American Badass. Because
they switched it over.
American Badass.
But he had the biker gimmick before 2001. He came back as the American Badass, but when he started the gimmick, he just came back as the Undertaker, and then they added the American Badass onto it. He still had his name, but they added that shit onto it. That rolling shit, that Kid Rock's the fucking Limp Bizkit. Okay, you wouldn't know about Limp Bizkit, wouldn't you? Smarty baby. That shit came first.
Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water, which is the Limp Bizkit album that came out.
That was like 1998.
No, it was not.
That was 2000.
Came out in 2000.
See, that was saying. He had that one first, and then he came back in 2001 with the actual gimmick.
I could have sworn he had Badass first.
Here's something else that bothered me. Here's something else.
They both came out the same.
Lex, I know you probably pointed this out, or probably gonna point this out, but anybody notice MVP talking to Lashley at the end before his match?
I mean, we know that the Hurt Business is coming back, man.
Yeah, we know, but this would have been. But here's my thing. Like, Lex, when you talk, makes sense. Good on the mic. But they should have let MVP talk a little bit more in trying to convince Lashley to get the Hurt Business back together. They just let Lashley blow him off.
I get it, but I think it's more so a playoff. Like, because Lashley's blowing him off, you think that Lashley wants nothing to do with the shit. And then they end up rolling with it. You see what I'm saying? Like, he keeps blowing him off like, yeah, it's whatever. I don't want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up helping Lashley beat Brock. If they help Lashley beat Brock, that puts the Hurt Business on top of the mountain. You understand what I'm saying? Because it puts them all in that main event spectrum. The whole
a version of American Badass was used by the entrance theme for WWE's Undertaker in 2000 for his American Badass persona. It was replaced by Limp Bizkit's Rollin' in the same year.
Same year. Okay.
No one gives a shit. Shouldn't have been back in the beginning. How about that? Should have just left it for Raw 30. The dead Undertaker and
roll with it.
Yeah, for most of the 30 years of Raw, all I can remember is the dead man.
Mm-hmm.
The actual dead man. Not this don't get me wrong. I love bikers and all that shit, but the bikers don't belong where the Undertaker's name is supposed to go.
Right.
So for 30 years, you should have brought back the dead. I would have took the purple suit Undertaker.
Yep.
In place of the American Badass.
That's how much I wanted
the Phantom of the Opera Undertaker. Yeah.
I would have took that motherfucker over this dude.
I mean, and here's the other thing too.
I would have took the phony Undertaker from SummerSlam.
Wasn't phony Undertaker Kane?
Yes.
No, it was some other dude.
Brian Adams. That's right. 911. That's right. Okay.
Man, I am Smarty baby. Okay, I know these things.
Kane was the fake Diesel.
Yes.
Yeah.
He threw out one random fact that he knew. We're not talking about Kane or the fake Diesel. We're talking about the Undertaker right now.
Speaking of Diesel,
with segue into Diesel because his boy said Diesel.
No.
You see how they do?
No, this was actually a point I was going to bring up before. You have this is part one of the Go Home show. The 30th anniversary of Raw was the part one of the Go Home show for the Rumble. You had all these legends there. Why not bring in Kevin Nash? Why not bring in some of these?
Is going through shit.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure you're going to bring in a lot of people?
Right.
Like he's going through some shit. I don't think he's in the right mind to be.
Well, where was Eric Bischoff? Where was but you
got to realize that you only, even though Raw's 3 hours, you
ain't got that much time to bring up that many people.
Some of those segments, you had to throw the bloodline in there. That's the
you had
thing
to.
You had to give Brock his moment. You know, his time. You had to give the ladies some kind of time. Then you had to have the nostalgia and all that in between. You had to have.
You got to throw a couple matches in.
You had to have some matches somewhere. So it's only so many. I mean, like you got to think, and you also got to think like motherfuckers got schedules and they got paychecks. You would have much rather had an Eric Bischoff than fucking IRS, but who the fuck cares? Okay, who the fuck cares that IRS was there? Who the fuck cares that fucking Dallas Page was there? Because he didn't say shit, he didn't do shit. Who the fuck cares that the motherfuckers were there? Nobody. Who the fuck cares that the $1 Million Man was there? He was only there because it made sense that they were gambling and he's there, but you could have dealt without it. But
that was a nice looking $1 Million belt he had, though.
Yeah, you brought Jerry Lawler in. Okay, yes, it made sense. But what I'm saying is, you got these motherfuckers. We gonna spend all this money to bring these motherfuckers in. We getting the same nostalgia feel with these motherfuckers. I could have went and got Stone Cold. I could have went and got Goldberg. I could have went and got fucking anybody else. But I got who I got.
Would you rather
R-Truth there?
No.
He was probably somewhere.
Yes.
He was somewhere.
He was probably in the poker segment.
Yes. Why would you not want R-Truth there?
All right. So I think my takeaway from that is like, given the current barometer on Hulk Hogan with the way a lot of people feel about him, would you have rather had opened the show with somebody other than the Hulkster?
I would have took Rick. If Rick would have opened up, I would have took that a whole lot better.
Well, they saved Rick for Charlotte's segment, so I get that.
I get it too, but I still would have took Rick opening up the show.
Look down. We just basically ran down the whole show, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only black wrestler on the fucking show was Lashley.
True.
You had Street Profits.
Okay. Oh, and them too. Okay, but they were.
Dawkins don't count. Dawkins is light skinned, technically.
But what I'm saying is they weren't around and they didn't have the run-ins with Hulk Hogan that New Day had. New Day went there.
Yeah.
O'Neal was New Day on that. The motherfuckers that had the issues with Hulk Hogan were nowhere around. And then Street Profits were there, but then you put Lashley at the end. But so of course you can slide Hulk Hogan in here because the people that got a problem with him ain't here. Exactly. They're not here, so fine. We can roll with them. So it was. I didn't even think his segment meant anything except him being there. He came out, he talked, he looked old, and he left.
Did anybody else find it hilarious that his mic didn't work?
I loved it more that Jimmy Hart was out there with him.
Yeah.
I loved it more that Otis was out there with him. He could have came out and did the fucking, and then you had Teddy Long. Okay. Yeah. You had Teddy fucking
holla. He's the one that booked the match between Street Profits and
you got a match with the Undertaker, player. Hey, anybody ever noticed that? Like real quick, like anytime Teddy Long came out, somebody had a match with the Undertaker.
Well, I mean, Taker was the
fucking
biggest
general
name on
manager,
SmackDown at the
if
time.
you was a general manager, you wanted to punish somebody, you put him in there with the Undertaker too. Shit. Every goddamn trip.
Yep. So I mean that was Raw 30. There wasn't really too much to talk about with Raw 30. I mean, the Bloodline segment to me was the segment of the night though, because then that turned into you had Jimmy and Jey Uso versus I can't remember who they wrestled for the tag team titles.
I thought it was Priest and was it Priest and
Judgment Day? Judgment Day. And then you have Sami Zayn obviously helping the Bloodline win because he's still trying to keep his spot.
He's trying to stay Uzi.
But it made sense. The whole fucking thing.
It did.
Made sense. I'm like, okay, he really sent Solo on him. Like when he's like Solo, getting, and I'm like, holy shit, it's about to happen. I've been waiting on this moment since that shit started. Okay, I'm happy as shit. And then Jay came over. I instantly didn't like Jay no more. Okay.
I mean, Jay looked the most pissed out of everybody.
Jay was my favorite in this whole shit until right then, because I've been waiting on them to whoop Sammy's ass.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I laughed at that segment. I laughed at that part because it reminded me.
The segment, because you did not expect Jay to be the one to save Sammy.
That was people.
I mean, all people.
When
these motherfuckers is fucking with my emotions right now.
When they panned across that table and you see every member of the Bloodline, Jay looked the most pissed off out of all of them. And then you don't even have really Roman speak all that much. You have Heyman, which was the perfect way to start that segment. And especially with Heyman sitting there saying ECW is dead in Philly. I'm sitting there, I'm like, ooh, you going for massive heat right now.
That was the best time, though.
Oh, it was perfect. And then you have him do the whole, he was the prosecutor. Like that was perfect. And then you have Roman sit there and say, I never thought I'd have to do this. Solo get him, like you said.
No, he said that shit like Tommy Davis has said it on Martin when Martin interrupted the show. Snooki, do work.
Right.
So what do you guys think happens ultimately with this? Does Sammy turn on him or does he cost him the title?
Sammy cost him the title. It'll mean more.
It'll cost Roman the title. I honestly think that they're going to turn on Sammy, but I don't think Sammy's gonna get hurt. I think they're gonna turn on Sammy in a way where you're gonna see it coming. Like, holy shit, they're about to beat the hell out of Sammy, and like Kevin Owens saves them or something. Yeah, regardless.
Honestly, I can see them dismissing Sammy like peacefully, and then Sammy goes on this revenge tip and just starts attacking everybody from behind.
I don't think the only reason is because people are waiting to see Sammy get exiled.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you peacefully let him go. People are waiting to see something happen to Sammy.
I mean,
you are waiting for Sammy to die.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You're not a fan of Sami Zayn?
Fuck Sammy. I hate Sami Zayn. My skin falls every time Sami Zayn comes through the fucking curtain.
So, all right.
Why are you so mad at El Genetico, man?
But let's say they do this. Let's have Sammy get the shit kicked out of him by Solo, or maybe even by the Usos together, and then he doesn't come back as Sami Zayn. He comes back as El Generico. Would that be better for you?
No. That's worse. That's worse.
What's wrong with El Genetico, man?
Exactly. You don't know what the fuck El Genetico is, man. I don't give a fuck. No. Okay, he's either gonna get his ass whooped or he's not. But I kind of think it's gonna be he's not. It's gonna look like he's fucked up.
Yeah, Kevin Owens and then maybe a couple other people are gonna come out and save him. Yeah,
and that's how that's gonna go. I don't really think I would love to see him get his ass whooped really badly. Okay, because they've been saying that shit over me for the last couple months. Tonight is the night. It didn't happen. Tonight is the night. No,
so how mad were you at the end of War Games then when
I was mad as fuck. Beat the dog shit out of Sammy, and it didn't happen. I was so pissed. And you know that they showed all the little girl when Miz won the championship. I was sitting in my goddamn living room and shit.
Are you sure you weren't like the wide-eyed guy when Brock beat Undertaker?
No, absolutely not. I was mad as fuck. I'm looking at my TV like shit, lip pouting, quivering and shit. I was mad as hell. I I just knew that was the night I was about to get what I wanted, and it did not fucking happen. And I gotta keep watching Sammy come out every goddamn week.
Hey, look, real talk. Lexx gonna fuck around and wrote a letter to WWE, man. Stop fucking with my emotions.
That's my next step, man. Shit. That's about to be my next step. I'm writing a fucking letter.
He's gonna come out Thursday night on the Lex Vegas show, just being like, man, I can't.
He gonna start the Lex Vegas show off. Just like that. I'm telling y'all, that's what's gonna happen. He gonna start. I'm telling y'all, watch next week after the Rumble, all this shit's over with. Lex gonna start the show off. I got a fucking problem. I'm about to write this letter on national TV, on radio, all this shit. He ain't gonna get specific on what platform. He's just gonna say on YouTube, all of this shit. WWE. I got a fucking problem. When the fuck is y'all gonna beat up Sammy?
Right. If Vince was in charge, Sammy would have been got his ass whooped. Okay? But it wouldn't even be a thing. Vince would have had Sammy getting his ass whooped every week. Sammy would have been Ali Mustafa. Getting his ass whooped every damn week. Okay? That motherfucker gets his ass whooped. That would have been Sammy getting his ass whooped every week by the blood.
Goddamn,
Vince, I need you. Okay?
Tell us how
Nobody cares, Vince. I care.
Tell us how
I hate Sami Zayn, man. I hate that motherfucker. I'm telling you, my fucking skin gets the itching and shit. Okay, I feel I get hives and shit, man. Scratching like a crack. I hate that motherfucker. I hate them stupid dances he do. I hate his stupid hair. I hate the stupid way he talk. I hate that stupid Uzi ass shit. Okay, I hate all that shit. And he tried to swagger jack me a couple weeks ago on fucking SmackDown. You saw that shit? He gonna come out talking about I'm Sami Zayn, aka the honorary Uso, aka Sammy Uso. Fuck you, Sammy.
So you're saying he was watching the Las Vegas show?
No. What he's saying is now we get down to the bottom of it because Sammy done stole his shit. That's what it is. This. Now we get to the bottom of it. He caught SmackDown. He saw Sammy doing some shit he shouldn't have been doing. Now Lex got a problem.
Oh, he was probably more pissed about that.
Oh yeah, I was more pissed about that shit. Okay, I'm more pissed about that shit than the ass whooping. Don't swagger jack my shit. You see, I got on Tim's ass for that shit on my show and shit. Tim gonna call himself Timbuktu, aka Mr. Don't Leave Your Plate Around Me. I was on Tim's ass for that shit. Okay, don't take my shit. I will fuck Sammy up.
So
who wins in a street fight, Sammy or Lex?
Lex.
I promise. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. Let me get real.
Wait.
Let me tell you something. One motherfucking second, okay? There is no way in hell, Vince reference, that I would ever lose a fight to Sami Zayn. Okay, you can clip that shit. You can remake. Rick. You can do all that shit. Okay, you got me fucked up. There is not a motherfucker that look like a German Shepherd is gonna beat me in a fucking street fight. You got me fucked up, Sammy. You got me fucked up. Carry on.
Sammy, if you're watching, if I was you, I'd change my shit up ASAP.
All right, so we got about 10 minutes left here. We talked about the matches that are going to be at the Royal Rumble, but we didn't say who we think are going to win these matches at the Royal Rumble. So let's start with the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
Bray.
Like it makes no sense for that match to go any way but Bray winning the match.
Bray.
We don't even got to talk about that one in detail. Just Bray.
Right. Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Women's Raw Women's Championship. I think we all pretty much said we want Bianca to win.
Yep.
Except for Dave.
But that don't mean we're going to get what we want on that one.
Now, Dave, let me ask you. Do you want Alexa to win because she's from Ohio? Or do you want Alexa to win because you want to jump her bones?
No, I just think that
both.
I think that that's going to be her kryptonite to beat Uncle Howdy and Bray.
But why?
Who gives a fuck about them right now when you got the women's title on the line?
It makes more sense for her to still run with that angle than it does for her to beat them. It makes more sense for her to run with that angle. It's more because otherwise you had no fucking direction for Alexa Bliss. She was just walking around following Bianca and Asuka wherever the fuck they went. Okay, you don't have anything to do with her. So this makes it now she can show up on SmackDown with them motherfuckers. They can show up on Raw with her. It makes more sense. It opens up more shit. Just my opinion though, but who am I, smarty baby?
Like I said, this don't always mean we're gonna get what we want with that. We all want Bianca to win, but they might throw us a curveball just to fuck with our emotions, like Sammy do Lex.
Rome just told me he's sending you a Sami Zayn shirt.
I will wipe my ass with that. I promise. I will wipe my ass with that and send it back to you.
Okay. Don't send it back to me. Send it to Sammy. I ain't the one you got to beef with.
You
All right.
send me that bullshit. I'm gonna send it back to you.
All right. So even though we only know 7 of the participants in this match, Women's Royal Rumble, who do we think is going to win?
Rhea Ripley.
It's unanimous. Rhea Ripley.
Okay, I agree with that. I definitely do think we are heading towards Bianca versus.
Give her a legit shot at either trying to get the belt or with the belt. Give her a legit shot.
Back and took the women's title, I would have said Charlotte could have been a shot in there. But now that they put the belt on her, she's not going to be in it.
What does that say about Ronda Rousey that they took the belt off of her at a fucking house show though? Like,
no, it wasn't a house show. It was on SmackDown.
Was it on SmackDown? I heard it was at a house show.
That particular night, SmackDown might as well have been a house show.
Yeah, maybe. But they've also said Ronda's not progressing. Ronda's still the same Ronda that came back.
Exactly.
That came into WWE. Like nothing about her. It says that she's getting better. She's not better on the mic. She's not better in the ring. She's not better just move with her footwork. Ronda is just like she doesn't give a shit.
I was just about to say that. She's just there for the money, man.
Right.
Which is not good.
That's why they're sticking her with Shayna Baszler in a tag team. So Shayna can mask Ronda's shortcomings.
Okay, men's Royal Rumble match.
Cody.
The Rock.
Cody.
If it happens, The Rock
is winning. If The Rock is there, The Rock is winning. If The Rock is not there, Cody's winning.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 options that make sense at this point. You can't. Well, you bring The Rock there and then have him lose. Now he looks like a fucking scrub going into this match with Roman.
Okay,
So
I see your point that, but if he's not there, then it's Cody. If he's there, then it's him.
It's him. If Rock is there, he's winning. You can't. If you bring The Rock in as a surprise entrance and he gets tossed the fuck out. We don't give a fuck if Roman beats his ass or not.
Now, and then the other side to that is who else can you throw at Roman that he ain't already went through?
Exactly.
So it got to be one of the 2. Now, if Rock's not there, it's Cody. Okay, but
what if Sami Zayn wins the Rumble?
Oh my God, here you go.
I'm just asking.
I don't even think Sammy's going to be in the Rumble because, like Brock said,
if Sammy's in the Rumble, here's my prediction with that. If Sammy's in the Rumble and Sammy wins, they gonna treat Sammy like Lex Luger got treated with the Horseman, and he gonna get the shit beat out of him every chance they get.
Hold on, though. Time out. Because Dave ain't totally off with that.
I didn't say he was off.
No,
I just said what could happen.
He did, but think about this. We were talking about what would be the last match. Would it be the Rumble or would it be Owens versus Reigns? Sammy sneaks in and wins the Rumble, and now you have this big part of the Reigns-Owens match. They don't trust you at all because now you basically got free reign at Reigns. That kind of makes a little sense. Okay,
that's what they did with Luger.
Sammy sneaks in and tosses out whoever's left. Let's just say it could. Matter of fact, the last 3: Sammy, Cody, Rollins. Sammy sneaks in, dumps both Cody and Rollins. That keeps them both strong. Keeps whatever they had going on for another match.
Actually, that would be more along the lines of if they do it like that, that'd be more along the lines of Sting and the Horsemen, where Sting got the #1 contendership and they beat the shit out of Sting, telling him give up your spot.
It's like when Orton won the fucking heavyweight championship when he was in Evolution. We don't like that shit. Get the fuck out. You know, but that gives you a reason for the bloodline to turn on Sammy because we don't know what the fuck is really on your mind. You got a free shot at Roman. We can get rid of you now. Now it makes us so that doesn't necessarily that's not necessarily a bad idea I don't really see it happening only because right now you're trying to get the fans what they want and all that shit, and they, now it's the same John Cena shit, it's the same babyface Roman Reigns shit. Oh, you're shoving the bloodline down our throats. Nobody's shoving, because you have the opportunity to change the channel, bitch. Okay, but so that's why I don't see Sammy winning it, because now it just puts more focus on the bloodline angle, which is what y'all don't want. You want,
but it gives Lex what he wants, and that's Sammy out the bloodline.
God damn right. Yes.
All right. So obviously, we all think for the Universal title match, Roman is going to win.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't understand why you would I don't see where you would go
if you have Kevin Owens. Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Because the problem is the match is it's for the unified belts.
Right.
So it's not solving your unified belt problem.
Exactly.
Do you really want KO ruling over both belts?
Why put the problem on somebody else? Let's figure out what the fuck to do with the motherfucker that's got it right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're having, all right, so we'll end it with one more trivia question, then we got to get out of here. There have only been a handful of WWE superstars who have won the Royal Rumble more than once. Can you name?
Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, no. Randy Orton, Edge.
Stone Cold, HBK, Orton, Cena,
Batista.
Batista's only won it once.
Yep.
Okay, no. Fuck. Triple H. I meant. I was thinking of Triple H.
I think we have them all. Who is the only person to win it 3 times?
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Who's the only non-WWE wrestler to eliminate himself from the Royal Rumble?
Vader.
Wait a minute. Say it one more time.
Drew Carey.
He was a non. He was in the Royal Rumble, but he was not under contract. And because the Royal Rumbles in San Antonio was the reason he was in the Royal Rumble to begin with.
Vader.
He eliminated himself. Mil Mascaris.
Oh yeah, Mil Mascaris. I forgot about that.
He jumped off the top rope to tag somebody with a crossbody block.
Eliminate himself as well to get away from Kane. Yeah.
All right, Drew Carey.
It answered your question though, now didn't it?
All right. I think that's gonna do it for this.
Do you pay taxes over there with your church?
You know what? Why don't you pay the church? I'm still waiting for that donation that you said you was bringing through to the church. What is it?
I never said I was giving any donation to the church. I don't even trust your church.
And where's that at?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
What kind of pastor comes to the ring with a collection plate?
We're gonna have a 3-way match here: Mel versus the pastor versus Lexx Vegas. That'll be in a couple of weeks here.
How about just make that a handicap match and let these two? It'll be Lexx Vegas against Dewey and Dummy.
You.
All right.
Call Sammy Zayn. Tell him steal some more of your shit.
Good pastor's waist. Yes.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for Money's Crazy Mind before this turns into a fucking bloodbath over here in the Detroit Auto Parts studio number 1. I want to thank Dave. I want to thank Pastor. I want to thank Mel. I want to thank Lexx for all coming on the show this week, talking the Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania officially starts tomorrow night. You can stream it live on Peacock. Until next week, everybody, which will be episode 97, have a week.
Money's Crazy Mind is a proud Redline Media Group and Nameless, Faceless production.
That's all, folks.